Hey guys, Carl Cooper for OnTheBlack.com here to give you a Mets-Pirates series recap. So the Mets were swept by the Pittsburgh Pirates. That's right, swept by the Pirates. It's these types of series that as a Mets fan just wants to make you kind of take the brown bag and put it over your head and hide for a little bit. I think Carlos Beltran said it best after the game that this is just completely an embarrassment. No need for the Mets to be swept by the Pirates, but you know they're dropped to 28-24 on the season, and I've really got three sort of main takeaways from this series. First is the pitching. I said coming into this series that with all the injuries the Mets have to their everyday players, the pitching was really going to have to pick it up on their end and hold down other teams because the Mets just aren't going to put up a lot of runs. And in 3 games in this series, there's supposed to be 4 games, but obviously one got rained out. But in 3 games in this series, the Mets let up 22 runs in 3 games. That's just entirely too many runs to be letting up in a 3-game series. So the pitching didn't do their job this series. They didn't pick up the slack for the offense, which obviously is not going to score a lot of runs, even though they did today. It's not going to put up a lot of runs consistently because, you know, they just have too many injuries offensive in the everyday player. So pitching kind of a disappointment in this series. Another one which I just touched on is the injuries. Again, the Mets just continue to be bitten by the injury bug, and you know, I don't ever remember the Mets having this many injuries this early in the season, hitting all at once, ever. So this is just really a surprise. And, you know, with Ramon Martinez breaking a finger sliding in the home plate, and now we find out Jose Reyes is going to be out for an extended period of time with a tear in his hamstring. It just keeps getting worse and worse for the Mets here. So the injury bug really biting the Mets pretty hard now. And then, you know, the third takeaway is the inconsistency within the team overall. You know, they've been kind of up and down and inconsistent for the most part for the whole season, but you know, after going 5-1 on a recent homestand to Washington and Florida, to then turn around and get swept by the Pirates just shows the inconsistency in the Mets play this entire season, and that pretty much sums up their play this season with some of those inconsistencies. So those are my 3 takeaways from this series. Now it's time for my Who's Hot, Who's Not segment, and I'm going to make this really simple. Who's hot right now? No one on the Mets. I don't care what your stats were over these 3 games. When you're you know, a player on a team that gets swept by the Pirates, no one is hot on the team, in my opinion. No one is doing good right now, so no one hot for the Mets right now. And who's not hot? The entire team is not hot right now. Again, you know, with all due respect to the Pirates and their fans, the Mets should not be swept by the Pirates. So the entire team is not hot right now. They're not playing as a unit. They have too many injuries. The pitching is not picking up the slack, and you know, things really turned sour these 3 games here in Pittsburgh. And up next for the Mets, they travel to Washington now for 3 games. And you know, if the Mets want to salvage this road trip, they want to save some face before they come home to play the Phillies and then travel to the Bronx to play the Yankees, the Mets need to sweep Washington again. I mean, it's just that plain and simple. If they want to get this bad taste out of their mouth, if they're embarrassed like Carlos Beltran says that they are, then they need to go into Washington and they need to sweep the Nationals over the next 3 days here. And that's it for my series recap, guys. Let me know what you think about the past 3 games in Pittsburgh, the upcoming series in Washington, the injuries that the Mets are having, and even leave a comment. Let me know, interested to hear and what you guys think could be some potential trades, whether we're now talking about at shortstop, at first base, starting pitching, anywhere in the Mets. Would love to hear your comments. Talk to you guys soon.